So somehow I messed up my recording to put on Facebook this morning. I wanted to do my story, so it's going to be kind of long. Um, so you can scroll it if you don't have time or you don't want to listen. So, a long time ago, I ran away. Um, I made started making wrong choices. Started using drugs very young. I ran away. I moved in with a drug dealer. Um, started using drugs when I was very young. Bad choices. Then I moved to Arizona. I thought to get better, but I actually got worse. Made more wrong choices. Used more drugs. Got even worse. I was like, 120 pounds, no boobs, no butt. Basically gonna die if I wouldn't have moved out of there. Then, so I asked my son, what should we do now? And he was just a little kid, and he's like, let's move to Grandpa's. So I called his grandpa, and he came all the way here from Washington and got me. And I've been here in Washington ever since. I continued making wrong choices. He, Grandpa, wound up getting killed, like within the first year or two I was here, in a terrible shooting. Then I still continued to make wrong choices and still continued to use drugs. And even worse, I didn't like paying for drugs, so I in turn became a drug dealer myself, so I didn't have to pay for my drugs, which of course put my kids through major shit growing up in all kinds of ways I can't even probably imagine, besides neglect, them having to deal with all my ups and downs and all my boyfriends and all the terrible things that come with being a drug addict and a drug dealer. Throughout the years, I lost several friends and several acquaintances due to hangings, shootings, all sorts of stuff, just one after another. Terrible, terrible things. Then the pandemic happened, and you know how we all got a little bit of money. Well, my kids and a few of my friends and myself, we all mainly my kids, put money together, our money that we had gotten from the government together, to go meet my mother's sisters. So let me back up a tiny bit. I didn't know my mother, and I didn't know what happened to her and all sorts of stuff. She wound up getting murdered and stabbed to death, thrown over a cliff, blah, blah, blah. So I never knew her. I don't even have a memory of her. So that, not that this is an excuse for my terrible choices, but it, in my mind, made me feel entitled to be a drug user all my life. Had no intentions on quitting drugs ever. I was going to use as much drugs as I wanted the rest of my life, and that's just how it was. That's how crazy and that's how terrible my mentality was, with my thoughts. And anyways, when that pandemic happened and my kids took me to go see and meet my mom's sisters, I got a photo album, and I got to see a picture of me and my mom, and even though I can't remember them, I got to see that once I belonged to a family, and it was the beginning, I think, of my healing process, even though I continued to make wrong choices. Then, more terrible things in this little town happened. A young man was murdered for his sexual choices. It was very terrible. And then a little while after that, a girl came up missing that I used to use drugs with, and she still hasn't been found. Anyways, that isn't what this is about. But slowly, like all these terrible things around me, I started realizing how not only with myself, but everyone I ever encountered, I sorry, I played a part in these. Not that I caused all these deaths, but I definitely didn't play a good part in them. You know, being what I was all my life. I wasn't a good influence on any of these people, hundreds of people that I dealt to, and probably, you know, screwed up a lot of people's lives being a drug dealer, including my own. Anyway, so all these years of all this finally, you know, started taking a toll on me physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Anyway, I hurt my back, and I couldn't even take care of myself, like, you know, going to the restroom. My kids had to help me in ways I don't even want to describe. And what I'm getting to is, after I met my mom's sisters, like, I wanted something to give my kids for helping me do that, because it was such a great thing for them to do for me. They could have used their money on anything. And a couple of my friends also helped. Or just one of my friends, actually. Anyways, I had nothing to say thank you to my kids for making that dream come true and getting a photo album, and, you know, seeing that I once belonged to a family was very healing. Anywho, but they always wanted to see me off drugs, even if I never would have quit drugs. They would have loved me no matter what. But I decided that, seeing I had nothing to give them because of my lifestyle, you know, I got nothing. I decided that I would quit drugs. And so I did. Not last Halloween, but the Halloween before, I thought about it for a few weeks, and I told my son and my daughter that I'm quitting meth. And I haven't touched it since I made that promise to them. And it's been, you know, actually pretty easy, because what kind of gift would that be if I went back on not quitting, you know? So it's been, you know, I haven't had that monkey on my back at all, really. You know, it's been an experience setting it down. I've had many little blessings along the way, different memories and stuff that kept me going. Not that I would go back on my word, because what kind of gift would that be, you know? And so what I'm getting to is, now that, oh, okay, and then a few months ago, I went to the barter fair, and while I was there, I did too much acid. I didn't know I was gonna do that, but I did. Well, I knew, but I just didn't think it was gonna affect me, because I was such a drug addict my whole life. Anyways, so I did the whole tube full, and I, like, melted to the ground, and had to, like, reset my brain and the world, I thought, during my high. But what I'm getting to is, since I've been back, very grateful to be back. I haven't touched weed, or I don't smoke cigarettes anymore either, or nicotine, or nothing. Not alcohol, not nothing. I feel like I got high enough for the rest of my life, and in my dreams did I ever think I would ever cook weed, because it was like my best friend my whole life. Um, but so what I'm getting to is that I am finally clear of all my pacifiers, and I come to realize that I made so many wrong choices that I'm not going to make anymore. And anyways, I'm not running from anything anymore, and I uh, just I want to go back home. I want to go back to California. I want to visit my aunt and my little brothers, my cousins. You know, I just, and it would only be like $300. And anyways, my son has offered me to help pay for that if I help sell his sacred geometry fire pits. So what I'm getting to is he sells the beautiful fire pits. They're kind of like Build-A-Bear. Any shape or design you want, he could send them all over the world. So wherever you are, if you hear this and you want one and you want to support me going back home, you could call solidfirepits.com and order one and say it's for Meadow, and he'll know that that's his mom. And it's a lifetime guarantee, and you could pick any design, any shape, and they range anywhere from 200 all the way up to 2,000, depending on your size, shape, design, all of that. You could look at his site, or you could call him directly and talk to him. And that's all I have to say. I hope I remembered everything I wanted to say. I made a better recording earlier, and I somehow messed it up and lost it. I'm not very good with the phone and all of that. But anyway, so if you'd like to support my the rest of my journey, I would like to go back home and visit family that I do have, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life giving back to the world and the people I meet and my kids. And I just wanted to say thank you for listening. And if you'd like to get a lifetime guarantee fire pit made for yourself, call my son, solidfirepits.com. Bye-bye.